This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 1458. Do Trial Separations Work? Part 1, by Terry Gaspard of Gottman.com. Hello, everybody, and happy Monday. So glad you've decided to start your week with us here on ORD. I'm your host, Greg Audino. Really happy to be with you once again and hoping that your weekend went well. Now, today I've got a longer post for you, one that I will split up into two parts between today and tomorrow. We're going to be hearing from Terry Gaspard, a therapist affiliated with the Gottman Institute, which is one of the best resources for relationship research that the world has to offer and whom we really enjoy reading from. She'll be talking us through trial separations, what they are, and how to make them work. So without further ado, let's jump into part 1 of this post and start optimizing your life. Do Trial Separations Work? Part 1, by Terry Gaspard of Gottman.com. During the initial stages of couples therapy, a question that clients often ask me is, do you think we should separate? My answer is usually, it depends on your goals. Before proceeding in therapy, it's important for couples to understand the difference between a trial separation and a legal separation. A trial separation is an informal agreement between two spouses to live apart, and there are no legal agreements, judges, or lawyers involved. This is time spent living apart and agreeing to evaluate their feelings toward each other and intentions at the end of the time period. However, during a legal separation, a couple who decides to live apart will use an attorney to draw up a legal separation agreement. Typically, it outlines issues such as child custody, who pays the bills, and where they will reside during the separation. For some couples, a trial separation makes sense because they can use the time to honestly evaluate the relationship, work on themselves, and work on the relationship. This is especially true if one or both partners have experienced trauma or has substance abuse issues. Keep in mind, it's highly beneficial for couples to have a timetable for the separation period and to agree upon goals. Most of the couples who consider a trial separation have grown weary of ongoing struggles, and they feel too overwhelmed to make a decision about staying together or splitting up. For instance, Lauren, 43, and Justin, 45, have been married for 16 years, and they feel challenged with the demands of raising 3 children, busy careers, financial stress, and ongoing communication difficulties due to the differences in their upbringing, personalities, and parenting styles. Lauren put it like this, quote, Justin is a police officer who has experienced a lot of trauma at his job, and previously while serving in the Army while on active duty in Afghanistan. During the early years of our marriage, he was deployed twice, and we never really got to know each other. Then, when each of our children was born, he was overseas, and I was on my own. Now that Justin's home, we're like strangers, and he's always criticizing how I do things, making me feel inadequate as a wife and as a parent. End quote. Justin reflects, quote, I know things have been hard on Lauren with me being gone, and now I work a lot of nights and have an intense job where I witness a lot of crime, even death. When I get home, I'm completely spent, and it's annoying when Lauren doesn't set limits on our kids. They stay up too late, watch too much TV, and she doesn't always cook dinner. The other day, she asked me to cook after I'd been up half the night so she could go out with a girlfriend. End quote. Interventions that can help couples reach their goals. If a couple assesses their commitment and decides their relationship is worth saving, the cooling off period of about 6 months while living apart can help couples work through negative emotions about their marriage or their spouse. Couples therapy can be beneficial for partners who want to learn how to identify their core needs, negotiate, and agree on the goal of a planned separation to improve their ability to communicate and influence each other. One highly effective method of facilitating active listening between couples, including those who are negotiating a trial separation, is the Gottman Rappaport intervention. The goal of the method is to help couples to honestly discuss their feelings and beliefs about an issue without blaming or criticizing each other. A therapist serves as a guide who assists a couple who talk and attempt to accurately reflect back to each other what they heard. For instance, a therapist could ask both Lauren and Justin to have a conversation about their vision for the future of their marriage, while they practice listening attentively and giving each other feedback. When both partners feel understood, they will be better prepared to work out the terms for their trial separation. Another beneficial way of assisting Lauren and Justin in understanding each other problem solving and compromising while working out the terms of a trial separation, is to identify their core needs by using the two-oval compromise method. The Gottmans recommend drawing two ovals on a piece of paper, a small one and a big one around the smaller one. They refer to this as a compromise bagel. Next, they suggest that couples fill in the smaller oval with the needs they can't live without. These are the inflexible areas. Therapists can help couples keep this short by including only the needs that are essential to their happiness and relationship success. Next, in the larger oval, a couple lists aspects of their position that are negotiable or flexible. This doesn't mean that they're willing to give up the need. Rather, they're open to being fluid about how they can achieve it: time, place, methods, etc. For instance, Lauren might include going out with her friends in the inflexible, small area of the oval, but be willing to write, "I can live with going out with my friends twice a month" in the flexible, large area of the compromise bagel. On the other hand, Justin might include putting their kids in bed by 9 p.m. in the inflexible, small area, but be willing to write, "I'm okay with them staying up until 10 p.m. on weekend nights." By identifying their core needs and ways that they're willing to compromise, Lauren and Justin show a willingness to work towards a productive trial separation. To be continued. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled, "Do Trial Separations Work?" by Terry Gaspard of Gottman.com. And thanks a lot to Terry, a great beginning to this post, to no one's surprise. There is, of course, a lot more to get through, but I do think this is a nice place to stop so that we can really sit with the idea of the compromise bagel, which is both brilliant and delicious. Not only is this highly effective for couples, but it can also really help to align your behavior with your own goals. What it does is essentially reintroduce us with our Tier 1 values and our Tier 2 values, our negotiables and our non-negotiables. This is extraordinarily useful when we might find ourselves, saying yes to everything, setting poor boundaries, being too exclusive or picky about areas of life that mean a lot to us, etc. So don't be afraid to use this tool to help you make compromises with yourself as well as with someone else. But like I said, there's a lot more wisdom in the rest of this post, everyone. So we will stop here for today and look forward to the rest tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good start to your week, and I'll see you tomorrow for the continuation of this post, where your optimal life awaits.